I am an evolutionary biologist, a dream position here at the University of Idaho.
My expertise is in macroevolution. That's like evolution over very long timescales. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit more about that.
I'm a professor of science education at the University of Idaho. I teach future teachers.
The University of Idaho is a great place to be. It's full of research programs that you can talk to and meet. So for example, in the atmosphere, we have
Research-intensive university, providing lots of opportunities for collaboration.
really good success with undergrad research.
I really like doing research, and the way I do this is by studying island systems. And yes, started doing work in Galapagos. Then I started learning about the land snails I study now. And I was like, oh my God, this is what I want to do.
There's the organisms that people study that are like sexy, like sharks or whales or panda bears or something that they're like charismatic megafauna kind of things that everyone thinks are cool. And then I started talking to Christine about her work on snails, but also her broad knowledge of invertebrate zoology. And some of the things that she told me about just blew my mind. It's really kind of profound. So I've been won over by snails.
I mean, I can't wait to get in the field. Like, this is really where I think we're gonna have the most fun. Let's look at this map. This is where we plan on going. Marchena is super. Having a team is what makes it really fun.
We're all very different. Christine, looking closely at land snails.
The local people of the Galapagos refer to Christine as the caracolera, or the snail hunter.
Oh, this guy.
Luke is this incredible mind that is thinking about deep time concepts around evolution.
It's really nice to be out in the field. Like, I'm super happy right now.
It's kind of like out of the box, the way he thinks about our questions.
I've always been attracted to like big ideas, like meaning of life kind of things. Why we're here, where we came from, what all this stuff is.
Brent Miller in the College of Education, he gave it his own spin, developing his own educational project. So like, it's really a two-way collaboration, and not too bad at finding snails.
Christine's kind of OG, the snail hunter, and mentored me in the craft.
This guy is finding so many snails. I'm just pushing him a bit more here. I'm the original snail hunter, looking for snails for 25 years now. Try to understand evolution through that lens. This is what they call adventure learning.
These other two are high adventure people that climb mountains for fun. This is not me. Like, I like to go bowling and play mini golf. Yeah, it does make me nervous, but I think it's good to face your fears.
The three of us, from an academic, professional standpoint, are complementary.
Galapagos is an archipelago, so a set of islands right on the equator in the Pacific Ocean, 700 miles off the coast of Ecuador.
An iconic location.
Wildlife that is just very unique.
Galapagos is the equivalent of test tubes for evolutionary biologists, in that we can have some idea of like replication and repetition of evolutionary patterns. Different islands of different ages. Within those islands, you have different ages of volcanoes. And so you have a series of natural experiments that have all started at different times. And we can just go in and see the results of those experiments now. It's kind of like the crucible of evolution that we can look at.
It's basically the equivalent of a time machine. You can go on the very young island, and then you just hop next to it, and just a bit older, and you can keep going like this.
Volcano Ecuador is a really special place for two reasons. One, it's really young, and then it's really pristine. There's almost no invasive species. It's like a little microcosm of how evolution works at a broad scale. But it's a really difficult place to study.
The Galapagos
is hard to get to. There's nothing flat there. The rocks are unstable.
Ecuador es un volcán que es más difícil acceder a ellos porque son mucho más empinados, tienen mucho más barrancos, pocos lugares de acceso hacia arriba. El lado con más vegetación está en el lado más quebrado, ¿no? Con mucho más difícil acceso, ¿no? En el día estás como en una caja de vapor, en un sauna, ¿no? Es absolutamente no hay agua.
It was really hot, basically sunny all the time, so we were exposed all the time. And then the terrain was very difficult.
It's a desolate landscape. It's like the pictures that the Mars rover sends back.
Lava fields, sharp like glass.
And then once you get to the forest, it's basically impassable.
But then at the end of the day, you look at what you saw and what we collected in terms of information, and it's just great.
Bien húmedo.
Christine is an amazing person, but there's this one side of Christine that you can really only see in Galapagos. It's really fun to see that, and she just wants to go, go, go. There is nothing that makes her as happy as finding a new snail in a new place.
You got one? Yes.
Cristina es más aventurera, ¿no? A ella le gusta más aventura, es más fuerte, ¿no? Es una mujer muy fuerte. Ella dice, vamos a hacer, ¿qué crees tú? Vamos a hacer esto, tengo un plan, quiero hacerlo esto, ¿crees que es posible?
Oh, wow.
Y a veces ya, ¿qué más? Es la aventura. Sí, a veces es duro ir allá donde quiere ir, pero vamos, ¿no? Si no lo intentamos, no sabemos.
Nobody had ever collected anything like in terms of snails here, so all of these are new to science.
This is like if the Sasquatch people like found a Sasquatch on the first day of looking for Sasquatches. That's the equivalent of this. She goes into hardcore snail hunter mode, and her and Brant together will basically like traverse any kind of challenging terrain to get to the snails. Drop them off on an island with a bag of oatmeal and come back in a week and they've collected a whole bunch of stuff.
Algo es como una competencia. Yo quiero encontrar un caracol, ya. Te gané encontrar uno. No, yo tengo dos, tú tienes tres, o sea. Es emocionante. Bueno, buscando, saco la piedra, le doy la vuelta y encuentro un caracol que está vivo. Pero espero encontrar más muy pronto.
I really didn't know anything about snails before getting involved in Christine's research. But then when I got to Galapagos and we found our first live Galapagos snail, there's something more to these things than just data. They're cool.
We found 6 different species. So you can reconstruct this pattern starting with nothing, not a single species, just a barren lava, to like a place where you have like a whole set of species coexisting together. And this is where Luke's work comes into play that helps a bit elucidating how that works.
What I really think about a lot is like how those tiny processes scale out to explain life on Earth. This process that happens all across the tree of life and that results in all the biodiversity around us. What starts under a log with a single snail surviving or dying cascades out over millions of years to explain patterns on islands or archipelagos or continents or planets. The snails are like a little window into the common processes that all life experiences here on the planet. By explaining to people how evolution works, we can align ourselves better with the natural world. It's important to feel that unity. This is evolution and we're a part of it.
After a field work like this, it's amazing to package all the samples and go home, have the data, start the genetics and all this stuff. This is super exciting. And really put this all together in one picture and complete the puzzle, basically.